Yes.
As a student, what is your advice for us to say?
That's what I'm going to say.
She's going to teach it right now. Don't spoil her fun. Right? Let her do it properly. Oh, come on. All right. I guess we are already on YouTube. And we should say hello. Hi, achievers. Let's open our microphones and go. I didn't put Instagram. I forgot. Let me see if I can open it here really quickly. And can we say hello, hi, achievers on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yes. 3,
Yeah.
2, 1, and
Hello,
Hi,
Hi,
achievers!
achievers.
Here we are today. We are going to talk about study plan. We're going to give you study tips. And today we have teacher Juicy to talk to you about that. She created an awesome, outstanding, fantastic, wonderful slide presentation for you. And she's going to show you how she studies. Okay, teacher Juicy is an English teacher. She has been teaching English for how many years?
8 years.
8 years. She has been preparing for the C2 proficiency exam with expertise. Her knowledge went up, right, Juicy?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Her knowledge went up. Her marks on the mock tests went up. Everything is increasing beautifully because of the way she studies, the way she prepares. She does it with expertise, and it's so good that I decided to let her share her knowledge with you guys. I hope you enjoy. Before she starts, I would like to remind you that this is a C2 Proficiency group of teachers and English lovers who are here to help you undergo this pandemic situation with a little bit more study, knowledge, and sharing, right? Sharing is caring. This is why we're here at this moment to provide some of the knowledge that we have been building for you. And if you would like more people to receive the knowledge we share here, even though this channel is not monetized and we don't receive any money for this, YouTube has to know that you want more people to see it. So please subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and let's do it. I'm going to pass the ball to teacher Juicy as soon as I am able to open my Instagram, which has disappeared from my phone because my kids keep messing with it. But you can go ahead and introduce yourself, teacher Juicy. Come on.
Okay, so hi guys. As Flavia said, I'm teacher Josie. I've been teaching English since 2012, so it has been about 8 years now. And I've been preparing for CPE for quite a while because it's not an easy task to prepare. Can I share my screen, Flavia?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm gonna get my. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen. Just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I can see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Let us all close our cameras and our microphones for teacher Juicy to be able to explain this better. And then we open our microphones to talk to her, okay? Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to share my study plan. Um, and I would like to start with a question. Is there the perfect study plan? I will not answer it right now, so I would like you to think about it, and at the end, we will discuss it. As I said, I'm going to share how I organize my study. And how long do you think is the appropriate amount to study a day? What I do is 3 hours minimum a day. And you must be worried and say, oh my God, how is it possible? Is it too much? But the first thing that we have to think is what is study? Because study is not only sitting down with a book and answering exercise. There are many ways that you can actually study. And how I divide my day is I have about 45 minutes of reading every day, about an hour and a half of listening, and about an hour of sitting down study. And I will tell you in a minute what a sitting down study is. I will start with the reading. So, what is the reading that I do? I like extensive reading, so I like novels, and I also read news. And those are the sources that I recommend because I believe they have a good level of English, and the news, the information that you have there is reliable. When do I read? So I organize in this way. First thing in the morning, I start with my reading. So I set my timer and I have 30 minutes of reading, and I read a novel, and I vary the authors and the genre that I read. And during lunchtime, so after I have had my lunch and I have washed the dishes and everything, I have at least 15 minutes reading the news. And again, I have a timer because we have other things to do, right? So I really I'm strict with timing that. And this is not reading for pleasure because remember, we are studying. So I always have a notebook with me. And as I'm reading, I am taking notes of what I read. So, what do I mean? When I'm reading my novel, for example, every day I have a task. So, today I'm noticing how they organize the sentence, or I'm noticing punctuation, or inversions, any grammatical point or vocabulary that I think it's interesting and I would like to use later. I take notes of them and I put them in practice as possible, as soon as possible. I mean, in a speaking task or in writing. Um, this is the reading part. The next one is the listening. So, how do I practice my listening? And I try to make the most of my day. And we have many other things to do during the day. So I take the time when I'm driving, when I'm commuting to work, back and forth to work, or when I'm doing chores at home. So I always have something to listen to. And what I listen, I download audiobooks. Here you have a source that you can look up. They have free audiobooks and they are legal, right? It's not pirating. I download podcasts and I also listen to the news. And this BBC radio player is the app that I use to listen to podcasts. It's amazing because you have different stations, so you can vary the accents and also the subject that you listen to. I also have the audio from the mocks and Flavia classes as well. So when I'm driving, I usually have an audiobook or a podcast or news in English, of course, news in English. But when I'm at home doing some chores that I can have the computer on, I listen to Flavia's classes because then when I need to take notes or have a glance on what she's showing the screen, I prefer the computer, of course.
Lucy, I'm sorry to interrupt,
Yes.
and thank you very much for advertising my classes. But what if the person cannot afford a teacher? What do you suggest instead of watching my classes?
Well, you have all those other sources that I have mentioned. They are for free, right? You can download the audiobook, the podcast, news, and there are many samples from mock tests that you can download as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Good. I know you have just said everything you have. I just asked you to repeat everything, but I just wanted to reinforce the fact that even if you're not
sure,
with a teacher to support you, if you
yeah,
follow all of Teacher Jusie's plan, it is going to pay off.
yeah,
Okay?
I
there
think
are
my can I say my opinion?
sure, sure,
If
so
the student don't have the money to pay a tutor to book to a tutor lesson to pay for example for 5 year classes, one good idea is to privilege the active form of exercise. For example, as the presenter said, active reading, active more than passive. But
sure,
of course, a model is necessary. In this case, the model can be the newspapers, everything that the presenter is mentioning, all the models that she is mentioning. Of course, sometimes we watch the news, we don't care about what they say. We read a book, we don't care what the book says. This is my point of view to also be
sure.
participate to your own self-study.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I was going to mention exactly that, that as you're reading, your listening cannot be passive. It has to be active, as Saulo has just said. So you cannot just be background noise. You have to be paying attention and taking notes of chunks of language that you would like to use, the way they structure the sentence. For example, in podcasts, they usually have interviews, and I like to pay attention how the interviewee starts the answering the question because I think, oh, I can use this sentence in my speaking, so it has to be active. And you should try to vary the accents and the subject that you listen to. And the sitting down study, what I mean by that is that I take 1 hour of my day to actually sit down and go through textbook where I study actual grammar and vocabulary. And how do I organize that? So I have 7 days, right? And so one day I focus on grammar, one day on vocabulary, and I have 2 days for writing. So I go to Writing Improve and I write the task. So we have about an hour to read the task and prepare and plan and write it. But I don't proofread on the same day. So I come back the next day and then I proofread and then I improve what I can improve. And on Sundays mornings, I like to sit down and do a mock test. And I do reading use of English and listening part. The writing part I do in writing proof during the week. I like to do it on,
I
yes,
have some Tiago Vieira here on YouTube is complimenting and saying that TED Talk are also great for that.
yeah, true, true. And they have TED Ed, yeah, for education. So they have some specific ones for education as well. Yeah, TED is a very good source. The textbooks that I recommend are Proficiency Expert, Objective Proficiency, and Proficiency Masterclass. You can pick and choose. I use all of them for different reasons, and they are very good sources. Of course, when I have a longer time And uh, in order to keep my focus, I like to use the Pomodoro technique because you have such short period to study. Even if it's 1 hour, I use it, and it's very effective. I'm not sure if you know it, but it is the following. So you choose a task that you're gonna do, and you use the timer for 25 minutes. I use an app with this technique. So you focus, you concentrate for those 25 minutes. I myself turn off Wi-Fi and everything, so I make the most of the 25 minutes. And then you have, when the timer goes off, you have 5 minutes break. Then you stand up, you have a cup of coffee, you play with your dog, whatever you like. And then when 5 minutes is up, you come back and you focus again. And then you have a fresher mind. When I have more time, it goes, I think, 5 circles and cycles, and then you have a longer period of break. But it's a very good, effective way for me to keep focus on my study. So then again, there's the question: is there the perfect study plan? Anybody would like to answer?
No.
No, there is not indeed. Uh, there is the plan that works for you. So everything that I have just said works for me, works for my routine, works for my life, and even that sometimes I have to adjust. Sometimes, oh, my routine, like now in quarantine, my routine changed and I had to adjust things. So you have to make the plan that works for you, and I hope that some of the ideas that I gave will help you. But how can you start your study plan? The first question that you should ask is, am I smart? This smart is another technique that people use to create study plans. And I'm not sure if you are familiar with that. So I brought you a video. It's a very short video, don't worry. And it will explain better how it works. Let's watch. Um, Okay. And just to finalize it, I would like to. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, because I cannot see you. Just to wrap up, I would like to say that you should also create a support environment for yourself. And how do you do that? You can join free WhatsApp groups and free Facebook groups for CP. There are amazing Instagram pages that can help you. There are some sources like from Cambridge and Flojo that are for free as well for websites, and you can have a study buddy. I myself have a friend who, uh,
I did it.
okay, who studies with me once a week, and we do some speaking practice.
Okay. Thank you very much, Teacher Juicy. Those were excellent study tips. I guess we have all profited, right, from those tips you gave.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity.
And now we're going to leave. Let me just put everybody back in here. If you would like to open your cameras. Claudia saying before we finish, any news from Cambridge? Okay, this is actually an excellent question, Claudia. No, no news from Cambridge. Okay, Cambridge, if you who are watching, if you don't know, Cambridge has suspended all of its exams for until the day the pandemic lets us leave our houses and take exams without being under risk, right? Undergoing any problematic situations. So tests were all suspended, all of the exams at all levels. And we are waiting for Cambridge to let us know when they are going to be back. Okay, now are they going to change? As I say, pause for emphasis. We don't know. Are there going to be any changes to the exams? We cannot say for sure, right? So if you are preparing for the exams, any of the exams, bear in mind that even if there are changes, changes are not going to be humongous. So you can use the books that you already have. Even if you were studying for the same exam, even if there were no changes whatsoever, you can go ahead and use the older books, the books from the previous C2 proficiency exam. They're excellent for your studies. Okay, so go ahead and continue studying using what you have, because even if after Cambridge comes back, there are changes to the exams, they're not going to be so overwhelming in fact to make you stop doing what you're doing right now. In fact, I believe there won't be any changes. This is what I believe. At least for C2 proficiency, I don't see anything new coming. However, better safe than sorry. Yes, let's wait for Cambridge to let us know if they're coming back as everything was or if they are making changes at all. Teacher Juicy is saying you're so kind. Thanks all. Thank you. Those were excellent tips. And next Monday, we will be talking about grammar again. Okay, grammar for C2 level. We are using Masterclass Proficiency for that. Some tips here and there about mistakes that are commonly made when taking the C2 Proficiency exam. And another teacher is going to be here talking to you about that. So I'll see you next Monday. We will all see you next Monday. Let's say bye-bye. Teacher from Brazil, teacher from Brazil, teacher Luciana from Brazil, teacher Marta from Spain and England. Spain and England, teacher Salvo from Italy, teacher Sabina from Spain, right, Sabina?
From Italy.
I always think Sabina is from Spain. Always. For it's been what? How long have we been together? 6 months? Almost? And I keep saying that she's from Spain. No, from Italy. Ricardo, teacher Ricardo from Brazil, and teacher Sylvia from Italy. And she's going to say, I'm not a teacher. No.
Exactly, I'm not a teacher.
But you should be one, right? And people who are with their cameras open, they want to keep their privacy. So see you on Monday, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.